Coming up next, former President Trump gets ready to return to Pennsylvania at the exact place he was shot.
Plus, recovery efforts in North Carolina after Hurricane Helene's destruction.
The whole town is a mess. It is so night and day.
And a college bar's new weapon in the fight against drink spiking. The Center County Report starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Ethan Ellis.
And I'm Alina Surace. Thanks for joining us on the Center County Report. Our top story, former President Donald Trump returns to Pennsylvania tomorrow to the same place he was shot in an assassination attempt. The Republican nominee will hold a late afternoon rally in Butler at the Farm Show. That's where he was shot. He was almost shot by a would-be assassin in July. The shooter was killed at the scene. This week, Trump talked with another audience about his return to Western Pennsylvania, even joking about it.
We have a lot of people coming, and I really believe that will be the safest place on earth. And also, I think I'll start the speech by saying, as I was saying,
Pennsylvania continues to be a key swing state. New polling from 538 Interactives shows Kamala Harris with a very slim lead in PA, 48% to Trump's 47.2%.
Voting has begun here in Pennsylvania as counties begin mailing out ballots and opening other avenues to voting. In Center County, the Elections Board is opening a satellite office on the Penn State campus. Across the state, more than 1.4 million voters have applied for a mail-in ballot. Nearly 9 million people have registered to vote.
Pennsylvania's U.S. Senate race could help determine which party controls the narrowly divided Senate. And last night, Democratic Senator Bob Casey and Republican challenger David McCormick had their first debate in Harrisburg. Each candidate accused the other of lying and turning questions about energy, the sale of U.S. steel, and tariffs into personal attacks. They'll debate again on October 15th.
And this week, millions of voters watched the vice presidential debate between Tim Walz and J.D. Vance. Rachel Fisher has reaction from Center County.
Most voters nationally said the first and likely only vice presidential debate this week was an even matchup. Republican Senator J.D. Vance squared off against Democratic Governor Tim Walz in New York. Penn State's college Democrats hosted a watch party on campus. Before the debate started, organization president Baybars Charkis said he had high hopes for Walz.
I'm very much looking forward to him putting forward a very strong performance, and J.D. Vance, putting forward a very weak one and possibly floundering on stage, which that would be great, but you never know.
With catered food to munch on, the audience cheered for their candidate and booed his opponent. The college Democrats aren't the only ones hosting a watch party. As you can see behind me, the college Republicans are also hosting their watch party to see how their candidate does in the debate.
We need a president and a vice president who are going to truly work for the American people. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are going to do that. And, while we've seen, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in the White House, things have just gotten worse for the economy. And so I think we really need to see a robust discussion on that. And I look forward to hearing what they have to say.
National polling from CBS News after the debate showed 42% of debate watchers thought Vance won, while 41% said Walz won. 17% called it a tie. In University Park, I'm Rachel Fisher for the Center County Report.
Center County Report will bring you live election coverage and results on election night, November 5th.
More than 200 people are now confirmed dead from Hurricane Helene since it made landfall last week. More than half of those who were killed were in North Carolina. Reporter Josh Bartosik is in the studio with the latest information. Josh?
Good afternoon to you both. Alina, it's not just the dead. There are still hundreds missing in the region. Helene ripped through the southeast and left billions of dollars of damage. I talked with some of North Carolina's hardest hit residents.
A storm unlike Western North Carolina has ever seen. After making landfall last week, Hurricane Helene left nothing but destruction. Michelle Provenger saw the devastation firsthand.
Oh my gosh, the whole town is a mess. It is so night and day. Because a mile from my house is Biltmore Village, and it was underwater.
Biltmore Village is just 2 miles outside Asheville. It's one of the places caught in Helene's path. Tourist town Chimney Rock is another. It's pretty much wiped off the map. At least 215 people have died from Helene, more than half in North Carolina.
I've lived through Hurricane Andrew, and this is kind of worse because nobody prepares for this. Like we're 500 miles from the ocean. Who expected a hurricane?
Joelle Richardson and Molly Sullivan were left with no power, no water, no cell service, effectively cut off from the rest of the world and trapped.
It was very scary. And it was me by myself. I have no family in Nashville. So it was me completely by myself. And I think not having services and not knowing what's going on, period.
For me, it was very eerie being cut off because we're so used to being able to find out how everybody is with one
How many
click.
times a day do you pick up your phone?
The recovery process continues across the state, but a long and grueling road lies ahead. Towns are in ruins from severe flooding, mudslides, and collapsed roads. Governor Roy Cooper says the damage is making it a challenge to deliver food, water, and other supplies.
Looking at it in the long run, with the hundreds of roads that are destroyed, communities that were wiped off the map, we have to make sure that we get in there, are smart about rebuilding.
It'll take months, if not years, before North Carolina returns to its former state. To help with relief efforts, visit redcross.org if you can help.
Reports of drug drinks at parties have surfaced in State College, but at least one bar is fighting back with a new weapon for customers. Holly Deemer reports.
As many as 1 in 13 college students have been the victim of drink spiking, according to a University of South Carolina study. Chris Rosengrant owns the Lion's Den Bar in downtown State College. He says that hits home.
Having a lot of young nieces and family and all the girls that work here, we just really care about them.
In the past few weeks, reports have surfaced at Penn State that several young women may have had their drinks spiked at parties and ended up in the hospital. Police confirmed to us that they've received one report. The Interfraternity Council at the university issued a news release warning students about alcohol consumption, violence, and hospital transports. Drink spiking is a crime difficult to prove and often unreported to police. According to the American Addiction Centers, almost 50% of men and women report having their drink or food drugged at least once. In an effort to protect patrons, the Lion's Den has started carrying Check Your Drink testing strips. These tests here can fit in your pocket and test to see if your drink has been spiked. Experts say the most common drugs used are Rohypnol, GHB, and ketamine. They inhibit the victim and cause a lack of awareness, memory loss, nausea, and vomiting. Testing strips aren't the only way to ensure your drink is safe. Shira Bernard created the Nightcap drink cover, which covers cups to prevent drink spiking. She says the test strips work, but it's better to stop the spiking before it happens.
It's a reactive measure and not preventative. So I think you have to start with awareness.
State College Police criminal investigator Chad Hamilton also has some advice.
Always be cognizant of holding your drink, being aware of where your drink is, especially if you're at a house party and you're not coming from a reputable establishment.
In State College, I'm Holly Deemer for the Center County Report.
State College Police also gave this simple advice: if you see something, say something and report it.
2 former members of a Penn State fraternity will serve jail time after the hazing death of Penn State student Tim Piazza. A judge has sentenced Brandon Young and Daniel Casey, the former president and vice president of Beta Theta Pi fraternity, 2 to 4 months behind bars, followed by probation and community service. They were the final defendants to be sentenced. They're set to report to jail on Monday.
An Academy Award-winning actress visited Penn State last night for National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Actress Abigail Breslin talked about dating and relationship abuse with 2 student moderators. She spoke about her story of domestic violence and how it's okay for victims to talk about their struggles.
It's so important that we talk about it because it's a really uncomfortable topic to discuss, and I think people shy away from it a lot because of, oh, it's such a downer to talk about, and it's just so depressing, and it's so this, but if we don't talk about it, then it's not going to change.
The Gender Equity Center will host more events for National Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Still to come on the Center County Report, we check the 7-day weather forecast.
And the latest on the fight over a new casino planned for Center County. Also coming up, a local food pantry plans to expand. We have the details. They say the house always wins, but in this case, the house is still waiting to get started. Dylan Price has an update on the proposed casino in Center County.
It's been 4 years since SC Gaming secured a bid for a mini casino in Center County. The plan has targeted the Nittany Mall as the site. Now, a key partner, Bally Corporation, has pulled out of the project. But SC Gaming CEO says that won't change much.
They weren't a necessary or like a required part of the project. And really, nothing changed.
For SC Gaming, it's full steam ahead, even without Bally. And with construction inching closer, opponents of the project are growing louder. Pearson says he's talked with them at a recent township hearing and a 4-hour forum he hosted.
I think fundamentally they're against gambling, or they're against the casino being here. And I respect that. You know, I wasn't there to change anyone's mind. It was mostly, I just wanted them to feel like they were actually heard.
The fact that this project even got as far as it did is just an incredible black eye for the political leadership of the local community.
Les Brunell is national director of a group called Stop Predatory Gambling.
This is driven by, again, some extremely wealthy individuals who are politically connected, who are now going to take advantage of thousands and thousands of college students and families in the community.
I've been here for 4 years. I teach at Penn State. And so when I hear comments and I read comments about, you know, that we're just motivated to take advantage of the students, I go, those are my students. Like, I think you really got us all wrong here.
College Township Councilman Eric Bernier believes the opposition is overblown.
I live in the community. I'm out in the community. I get approached about this frequently, just about everywhere I go. And the vast majority of people, first thing they say is, when is this casino going to come?
Opponents say another worry is potential crime and safety. Both Bernier and Pearson say parking lots will be monitored by both casino security and state police, which is a regulation for all Pennsylvania casinos. Pearson said he also talked with some of the project's biggest opponents recently.
If for anything else, even if they wanted to throw tomatoes at me or something like that, you know, I wanted to at least give them that, because it's been such a big focus for them for so long.
While the debate rages, SC Gaming says the show goes on.
I would not be surprised if you start seeing activity on the site before Santa Claus comes to drop off presents.
In State College, I'm Dylan Price for the Center County Report.
According to Pearson, the hope is the casino will open its doors in 2026.
A local food bank is changing its name and expanding its services. After nearly 4 decades, the Center Hall Potter Township Food Pantry will expand beyond Center Hall and Potter Township. The new name is Center Hall Penns Valley Food Pantry. It's located at Grace United Methodist Church in Center Hall. It's the only one operating in that area after the food pantry in Aaronsburg closed.
A sun-splashed arboretum after 11 straight days of rain. Take a look outside. It is beautiful out there. 57 degrees. This was right about when the fog was finally starting to burn off this morning, and now it's fully in sunshine. We've moved past all that fog, thankfully. 57 here in State College, 72 already up in Philadelphia, and up towards the 70s in the western half of the state, 74 in Pittsburgh. Going to be a beautiful day out there, that's for sure. Looking forward to this afternoon here in State College. We get up to about 72 once, now that the fog is burned off. We're really going to start moving up in terms of temps. Great day to be outside once you get off work, off school, whatever you have going on. It's great to get out there, fire up the grill, or do something like that. Tonight across the region, maybe a couple clouds, mainly clear here and there. 49 here in State College, always a little bit warmer down in Harrisburg, but 47 in Bradford. So it will be chilly out there once you get outside, but enjoyable nonetheless. Tomorrow, though, that's where the real fun is. Penn State's football game against UCLA at noon. Some patchy fog just like this morning in terms of just when you're firing up your tailgates, kind of this sort of ugly weather a little bit, but then the sun arrives by the start of the game at 65 degrees, an awesome afternoon. What a day to be outside enjoying football for the middle of October. I mean, really, wouldn't you expect that? I don't think so. But in the 70s in October is fantastic. A line of clouds moves through tonight. Nothing really serious in terms of weather, but enough just to kind of, get in the way a little bit. Tomorrow, though, like I said, by game time, look at the sunshine. It's a totally sun-splashed environment. After the game, driving home, no problems at all out on the roads. You are free and clear. The next chance for rain we're getting into is sort of late day on Sunday. It will be a nice day on Sunday, but by the evening hours,
This cold front will sweep through the area by the overnight hours. It'll be the eastern half of the state and past State College. That'll be your next real chance for rain here in the Center County area. Moving forward, though, the 7-day forecast, a nice day tomorrow after that fog burns off. And then we get into a sort of a pattern where it's cool in the mornings, but a really nice sunshiny day in the afternoons. So really just good to be outside next week.
That's super exciting news, Sean. I'm so excited for the sun. I was getting sick and tired of the clouds and rain.
So was I. I'm so glad it's back.
Yeah, honestly, I was forgetting what the sun looked like. Thank you, Sean.
All right, thank you.
Let's send it over now to Dylan with sports.
Thanks, guys. Next in sports, a rumble in Rec Hall as Penn State takes on Maryland on the volleyball court. Also ahead, Penn State football welcomes a new Big Ten team to Beaver Stadium. We preview the matchup. I'm Dylan Price with sports. Fresh off a win over Illinois, Penn State football turns its attention to a West Coast foe, UCLA. Thomas English sets the stage for a new Big Ten matchup.
The ground attack was key in Penn State's 21-7 win over Illinois last week, with 241 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. Tackle Anthony Donko credits the team's preparation.
We do day-to-day stuff, like we're taking that serious and stuff like that, but because we're taking this serious and preparing the right way, then on Saturdays we can have fun, we can be loose and be able to attack the game the way we should.
Penn State's Big Ten schedule continues tomorrow with a conference newcomer. The stage is set for Penn State and UCLA as they meet up for the first time since 1968 and also for the first time as Big Ten opponents. The stage is also set for Fox Big Noon Kickoff as they get set to host their pregame show prior to kickoff. The Bruins are 1-3 this season, but hold a 4-2 series advantage over the Nittany Lions. Safety Zakee Wheatley is looking forward to the game.
It's a new matchup. I just played NCAA back in the day. So playing a team like UCLA, which I would expect to play back in the day, it's just crazy coming to Beaver Stadium.
Coach James Franklin says the welcome party is over. Now, it's just another day at the office.
Cookies and rainbows and puppies and send them gift baskets and we don't think about that at all. This is the team we're playing this week. We need to be prepared to beat them.
In University Park, I'm Thomas English for the Center County Report.
Kickoff for the game is at noon, and you can listen live on Penn State Com Radio. Now to high school football and the big games we're following tonight. The State College Little Lions take on 2-4 Cedar Cliff at home as they look to improve their record to 6-1. The Lions have been dominating on the offensive front, scoring over 31 points per game. Also tonight, Hollidaysburg hosts Jersey Shore. Both teams sit atop the standings at 5-1. And the 4-2 Bellefonte Raiders take on the 2-4 Phillipsburg Osceola Mountaineers at home. You can catch all the highlights on After the Whistle at 11:30 every Friday night on our YouTube channel. Nittany Lion women's volleyball is on a roll. They were back on the court last night looking to continue an unbeaten streak at home. Joshua Gabriel reports.
With a packed Penn State sports weekend on the horizon, the party got started Thursday night in Rec Hall when the number 3 Nittany Lions defeated the unranked Maryland Terrapins 3-1 in 4 sets. Maryland came out the gates hot, grabbing the lead late in the first set and riding their momentum to a 1-0 lead that quieted the home crowd. The early deficit caught the attention of the Nittany Lions rather than catching them by surprise as they adjusted quickly for set 2.
The thing about this team is we're fast learners, so if it's not going our way the first set, by second set we're kicking it in, and then third set for sure we have it down.
Penn State indeed turned it on in the second set, tying the score at 1 apiece, backed by key plays from Jess Maruzic and Taylor Trammell, who celebrated her 500th career block.
After the first 2 sets, both that could have gone either way, each team knew that securing the third would be crucial, a setback that the opponent may not be able to recover from.
The third set did not disappoint as both teams were neck and neck until the Nittany Lions got the edge, winning 25-23. Up 2-1 with home court advantage was all Penn State needed, coasting in the fourth set 25-16 to stay unbeaten at home. In University Park, I'm Joshua Gabriel for the Center County Report.
We'll see the Nittany Lions tonight against number 11 Oregon at Rec Hall in their annual Wear White match. Checking in on Penn State soccer, it's a doubleheader today at University Park. The women's team plays Rutgers at Jeffrey Field in their annual pink match. The Lions are 9-3-1 overall this season and ranked number 19 in the nation. The men's soccer team plays tonight against UCLA in their wear-white match. The Lions are coming off a 1-1 tie this past week against number 12 Maryland. And turning to pro sports, the Philadelphia Phillies playoff run begins tomorrow. They'll take on the New York Mets in a best-of-5 NLDS series. Game 1 is tomorrow afternoon in Philly. Packed Penn State weekend. Josh said it best. For now, that's all for sports. Back to you guys.
Yeah, and that Phillies team is going to be really hard to beat in October. They call it Red October for a reason, but a lot of upsets in that wild card round. I mean, who thought the Orioles and Astros would both be going home that early?
No more O's, no more Stros, but Red October marches on.
I'm not too much of a baseball fan, but I will say that I am excited to catch the Penn State game on Saturday. Coming up next, America's oldest president celebrates a milestone birthday. More on that after the break.
Former President Jimmy Carter turned 100 years old this week. He's the oldest living president in U.S. history. The White House honored him with this birthday display on the North Lawn. And back in his hometown of Plains, Georgia, people gathered to celebrate the 39th president, sharing memories and showing their respect. Jimmy Carter made it out of his home to watch a Navy flyby in his honor. He also has a special connection to central Pennsylvania. Carter spent years vacationing here and fly fishing at Spruce Creek in Huntington County. We talked with local fly fishing legend and longtime friend of Carter, Joe Humphreys, about his time with the former president. We'll have that interview for you next week.
That's all for today's newscast. We hope you'll join us on Tuesday for our next local news update.
And you can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Center County Report X, and you can see our stories on our Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, and our website. Have a good afternoon.